Hello and welcome. I am the Restless Kaiser.
And I am Johnny B.
I'm Russian Quill.
And I'm David from Ax Anax.
But together we are
Modeling Advantage.
Beautiful.
That was the best one ever. Epic.
Look at that. So we'll have a quick check in the comments, see who's here. Rosie was here at 8:30, fluffing the boys before the show. Always approved.
Wow.
Josh Word, equally early, talking about rug mats. David or Ax Anax was in show chat before the show as well, but he hadn't logged into the StreamYards. I was worried he'd forgotten that he was here. Gamers with Coffee. Ashley, good evening, Ashley. Modeling for Advantage. Oh, that's me, isn't it? There's Nick from Team Clueless Games. And Rich John. Howdy, Sailor. Tony Halton is here. Ooh, gosh, everybody's just logged in. Subcommandante 73. Love that. Busy painting my car in urban camo so I can sneak past the queue and buy petrol. Mike Woolnough, or Woolly Mike on the show, is here. Friends General Haig. We met him at Warlord on Saturday. Lovely to see you, my friend. That guy has got some beautiful, beautiful miniatures. We're going to talk a little bit about Warlord's open day later. You say one of your neighbors has actually painted his van camo, a van that hasn't moved in so many years I've lost track. Is that true, John?
That is truth. It was a faded sort of pinky red color, and it doesn't move. It's like a mobile storage unit. That's all it is.
Right, yeah. Rob J, Ricky Turner, hello there. Alad is here. Good evening, my friend. Saffron 69, nice to see you again. Molly White, first live show for a while for me with an O and an ooh. Alacrity P is here. My dear friend and former housemate Bill Bass popped in 5 minutes to say hello. Well, hello there, my friend. Howard Everton, I hope you enjoyed Warlord Games. Great to meet you. Yeah, it was nice. That is a beautiful thumbnail right there.
That is certainly interesting.
Paul Beckers is here. Good morning from tomorrow. And not exactly a mobile storage unit, says.
Well, has potential, but it doesn't.
So that's, and then Bob Edwards from New Zealand, literally the other side of the world.
Wow.
Right, hobbying this evening, I am going to continue to base coat these tanks from World of Tanks to be used in the Flames of War next, probably. What about you, John? What are you up to?
I've got all the things, man.
All the things.
I've got some commandos I want to base up.
Nice.
I've got some Wolf Riders that I want to base up. And I've got a Scorpion I want to glue together for the old Romans.
Oh, a Scorpion. Not a British light tank.
Yes. What are you up to, Mr. Callum?
I am putting some silver on some Dwarf Slayers for Blood Bowl.
Oh, you've moved on to the Slayers.
Yeah, and the Star Player.
And the Star Player. And Mr. David of Ax Anax, what are you doing?
Sweet, sneaky camo on these old Ironwind metal battle mechs.
Snaky. Very nice. I like it.
We are going to talk a little bit about the Warlord Games Day, but more on that in a moment. Don't know. I would like to do a female gamer live stream, and I would like your white guy's wife on there. I think she means you, John. Does she? Rosie. Rosie will definitely go on your live stream, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She wants me. You won't get my wife. You won't get my wife on the.
Your guy's wife. Do we share one?
My wife cooks for you at least once a week. Does that count?
True.
I just want Ashley to know I did ask my wife, and she's like, "Yeah, definitely not."
Definitely not. I like
definitely not.
Gamers' wives gluing tufts on bolt action Soviet skis. Next bolt action release is Italy. Yeah, right. I'm going to lose track. Let's let David tell you who he is. So, Ax Anax. Yes. Sorry, I've stolen your thunder, John.
No, go ahead.
David, tell these beautiful people at home who you are, what you do, where they can find you, PIN number, mother's maiden name, that kind of stuff.
I'll give you my mother's maiden name. It's Kleinez. And you can steal my credentials if you want them. They're not too great, I would say. So, I'm David Moffat from Ax Anax Tabletop Gaming. I dropped the tabletop gaming because it's a little bit long to say. I mostly haunt YouTubes and make a bunch of ruckus in chat. But I do videos upon occasion. I try to do content that I feel is underrepresented. So I'm not kind of shooting for big numbers or anything. I just want, like, if someone want to know how to play PZ8 sci-fi, I got a bat rep for it. Doing surprisingly well at the moment for some reason. Otherwise, I manage some Facebook groups for Rain and Hell and 5 Parsecs from Home. So I try to support those kind of games. And I do some YouTubery, and sometimes I paint miniatures for money.
Paint miniatures
nice.
for money. Hoorah.
Sometimes I paint them for the miniatures.
Paint them for the miniatures. Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it? Yes. So... right, we're going to look at David's work later. We've got some pictures, but we're going to talk a little bit. I think we'll start by talking about Warlord. So, Warlord's Open Day. So, to begin with, I'm going to have to disappoint you, Paul, in that we arrived a bit later than the start because it's quite a long way from where we live. So, we didn't get there until midday, and the seminars were all booked up. We did, however, get a private tour from Ashley, who's one of the marketing guys. He showed us around, and we picked up some content, some contacts, which I'll talk more about later. But John, what do you want to? What was, you tell him your experiences because I talk a lot. What did you do?
You do talk a lot. As Kaiser says, we turned up late, so we lost the opportunities to go on a lot of the seminars, which I'm actually grateful for. I'd planned that because I don't like sitting around listening to that. But we got to walk around and we met some other YouTubers there. As he said, General Haig was there running a board, Scottish versus Scottish, and a bit of black powder action there. Met some lovely folks. There was an awesome American dude there, John, who works for Warlord, doing Blood Red Skies, but it was an upscaled version. Now, I hadn't seen this. The Kaiser had, apparently. It's the Airfix one, isn't it?
Yeah. So it used the 1/72 Airfix kits,
which looks sweet, especially if we were going to do it for camera. But that's maybe down the line.
I'd looked at that when it came out and thought, ooh, this might work better for camera. It's like 4 planes, 4x4 foot board. I think we can do this. So you'll see the models, which I was worried about with the tiny ones. And Subs, who's in here a lot, and he's quite the fan of Blood Red Skies, or at least he talks about it a fair bit. So I assume he's a fan. So it can't be all bad. But it was built originally as a limited edition. I was like, by the time we have built and painted these models, this game will be dead. So as a channel, that was like, oh, that's a bit of a waste of time to me. Unless we're going to do this next week, and we're not, because learning a new game for us is always, it's those of you that watch the show regularly, you'll know when we talk about new systems, it's months and months before you see it. It's because we can't just open the box and start playing, because it'd be a 4-hour video where we get everything wrong. We have to rehearse the games, and finding the time for that. We've both got full-time jobs and families and lives and so forth.
And we still get it wrong.
And we still get it wrong, absolutely. But I mean, we still haven't played Kill Team. We're actually quite excited for Kill Team.
Yes,
it looks good. It went the direction we wanted to go. Last week we got this is as far as we got. I'll flip this out. Look, we didn't even change the scenery very much. This is our practice game of Kill Team, and by the time we'd reached this point, sorted out our armies, had something to eat, it was like 10 o'clock, and said, "Do you know what, mate? Let's do this next week."
And instead, on the Saturday, when we were going to have a little play around, we went to the Warlords Open Day.
We did.
Other things that happened there. What happened? We got, as Kaiser said, we got our own little private tour, which was most gracious of Alistair to have done that for us, because otherwise it was kind of, well, not pointless us being there, but we would have missed out on a lot. And we got to see he immediately just took us in and dumped us straight into John Stallard's office, which was quite interesting. He's got all sorts of weaponry around there, flintlock pistols and boys get out of the line.
Sabres, stuff like that.
Sabres, It's got all of that going on. I had a bit of a nerdgasm as they took us through to the main crew department, and there's fat bloke Paul Sawyer just standing there, and I'm like, oh my god, it's fat bloke. Obviously, I didn't say that because you
have said it at least twice here just to make it clear.
Yeah, but Paul Sawyer's not going to watch this.
No, you don't know.
Famous last words. So that was cool. A little bit about how they do the miniatures, how they sculpt the miniatures. It's still, which I quite like. It's still quite old school. They still do.
They had the 3-ups, didn't they?
3-ups.
Some of them.
They were proper molded.
None of this. Everything like that. It's a mixed bag of different methods, isn't it?
It is a mixed bag of different methods, but they certainly didn't see any of this floaty digital paintbrush sculpting going on. There was none of that going on. So that was quite endearing to see.
And a couple of the painters were there.
Yes, there were some of the painters there working on what's that called? The Aztec-y style Americas.
Yeah, they're Mesoamerican, Mythic Americas, that's what they call it.
Mythic Americas. What else was there? There was a sneaky peek at some of the new miniatures coming out, but we only had a few minutes to really look.
There was, and I asked him a question about something, and I forget what it was.
You were going to ask about a type of unit, I think.
We were in the painting room, and there was something, and I can't remember what it was. It might have been.
There was little bicycle dudes.
For Blood Red Skies, I think, or for Pacific, it might have been something like Catalina flying boats or something. I don't know the range well enough, but there was an indication of something. There was like a slip of paper or something.
Yes. No, that's when we.
Are you doing them? And he said, "Ooh, don't know."
Yeah, Alistair was quite interested about that.
Yeah,
so we went from there into the sort of the molding and tooling room, and the guy that does all the resin and metal spins, he was there. He was quite involved and busy at the time, but Alistair took us through a bit of their sort of QA process. They're quite stringent on that as well. So stringent, is that even the right word? They're very focused on making sure you get quality products, that's for sure. And that's where you saw that box that said the Catalina thing.
That was in there, yeah. But when we were looking at the painting cabinet, there was something about what he'd said that suggested.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think it was a Catalina because they probably already do one of those because we saw the mold for it later, didn't we? But then again, it was right on the end. Anyone in the chat know? Do they already make a Catalina flying boat? Because that'd be pretty big in Blood Red Skies.
But anyways, they did some stuff. They showed us some things, but we got the real big down low on something quite epic. Which they kindly allowed me to take a photo of.
Right. You mean share the photo?
I mean, we all know there is a certain pillar of the Warlord community that keeps everything running, and that is Morella, right? Whenever you open a box, you get a little ticket. It says Morella, pretty much.
So as we're going
90% of the time.
This was the highlight of the backstage tour that we got. Was that we wanted to see Morella, obviously, and just thank her for packing just about everything we'd ever opened. And it was actually as we come towards the end of the packing room was closed, but John looked in and was like, "Look at that!" Now,
yeah,
I love the fact that we as people who open boxes, we experience just how much of the packing Morella does. But as I was looking about this, it's like, is this where she stacks her cardboard boxes? Is this the cage they keep her in until they're really busy? Like an Eversaw assassin or something. It's like, right, we're going to have to release Morella. She's like, oh, the cage. Bang, out she comes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Morella's cage. But I think that was the only piece of equipment in that building that I saw that had somebody's name on it. It's like, this is mine. Keep the hell away from it.
True fact.
But yeah, if you've opened a lot of Warlord products, you've seen Morella's packed by Morella a lot. I'm just going to try and catch up with. You really don't want to build those Airfix kits, really? I remember as a kid I couldn't do it, but I was hoping that by now things have improved. Quick to paint looked good on the table. So with the blood reds, guys, I'm just worried, frankly, subs on the distance that we set the cameras to fit the table in and the quality of cameras and light that we have. You just wouldn't tell one plane from the next. That's what bothered me. Kill team geometric shape learning kit. Look, mate, I've cut out the doofer. I'm ready to go.
Oosh.
It's got the pictures on it so that you know triangle, square, just in case you don't know what a square is. Keep J Bizzle away from the resin, mate. Yeah, and Alistair, you weren't happy about our video. The bendy resin. We're all good, Andy. Thank you. First person to lick their brushes owes me a tenner, mate. We're already well in debt in that respect. Then, good miniatures require good artists. Well, that's what Dave is going to show us. Did you see the Italians? We did see the Italians. I mean, I couldn't help but notice that War Games Atlantic released theirs the day before.
Yeah.
So I don't think you could actually buy them on the day, but they were up for pre-order. Is that right?
Yes, they are on pre-order.
We saw them, and
we got to see them.
We did get a goodie bag where John is demonstrating the contents of his goodie bag. There, each of us got a pair of these 17-pounder inflatable shells.
Really handy.
Yeah, I mean, no home is complete without an inflatable shell, right? It was rather an odd goodie bag. This guy's bendy resin, Johnny Proof. John reckons it was plastic. It certainly was coloured.
What's that? The planes?
Yeah, the planes. War Games Atlantic almost outflanked.
Yeah, I'm convinced it was plastic.
Yeah. So to be fair, War Games Atlantic did announce theirs the day before, but Warlord had been talking about their plastic Italians for a long time. So the kit, I didn't get to a seminar, so I didn't see the frame, but certainly the models that they completed, you can build them on a bit like the British Command, the new British model, you can build it as Canadians, or like the Commonwealth kit, you can build them as Sikhs and what have you. There are some variations with the helmets and the equipment. So I think you can build them as Alpini, Bersaglieri, or you can build them as Army. And I think you can't currently buy Italian Army very easily. You can get Bersaglieri, but I don't think you can get Italian Army from Warlord. Certainly not in plastic.
No.
Atlantic Italians look better. Well, that's interesting. I've not seen them, and I think for me, it's all going to be about the kit rather than about the finish. If you're gonna make 30 or 40 models, I think the kit is important. Quality assurance. Yeah, I mean, we've all had dodgy things from War Games companies from time to time, but when we met the guys, they were making molds for Blood Red Skies. And the guy has got these two big lumps of metal hollowed out, and they're full with what looks like butter. Basically, it's like a big 2 pound of butter flat in this tray, and they're pressing the tin models into them and patting them down and building the space around them, making the two sides of the mold. And they're all the two sides of the molds are held together with a load of ball bearings, which is to get the alignment right. They're just pressed into the butter. And they said they make a lot of these before they get one that they're happy with, because they have to calibrate the machine for each aircraft, each particular sculpt, the temperature it reaches, how long, etc. when they bake them. So it was surprisingly, it was a lot less industrial than I'd expected it to look. You kind of imagine these things just kind of coming spitting out of a machine, but this is a guy putting a mold into a machine that produces 5-6 airplanes.
Yep.
At a time.
And then gets them out, takes them out,
clips them off.
They did one in front of us.
Yeah. Because they were trying to get the settings right for one of them, weren't they?
Yes, it was a new cast.
It was the Wildcats. It was the Wildcats. And in each case, what they do, so they've got a tin mock-up, which is very high fidelity, and they press that into the molds on a default setting, see what it comes out like. Does it fill to the ends and so forth? and then they change the settings and do it again and again and again until they reach something that's satisfactory, and then they store that footprint for it. But they were only producing. It was the fact that it's like one box worth of items is one operation of the machine. You know, kind of thought it'd be a bit faster than that. No resin is Johnny Proof. Yeah. Quality control, cough, Zis 3. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've said it before. Stay away from Warlord Cannon if you can. I'm not sure that you can, though, if you want them. It's the problem. They're giving a Catalina free if you pre-order the new box. Right. So the Catalina was new. I didn't actually see a Catalina. I just thought that must be a big plane for Blood Red Skies.
Haven't they done some of the bombers, though? Or they were going to do some as a Wave 2?
Somebody just said that.
The Dornier, but I don't think these are big. You know, they're medium range bombers as opposed to 4-engine or massive. Because I think the Catalina is huge.
I think the 4-engine big bombers are down. Because I spoke to them at Salute before COVID, and they are in one of the waves, like down the line.
Yeah. PMSL. I forget what that means.
Pissed myself laughing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. I have some of Morella's little labels from her excellent packing. Yeah. All right. I'm going to catch up with the screws, and then we're going to go to.
Let's see some of our guest things, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just catching up with the guys. Sorry,
I know, right?
D-Day. So we'll have a D-Day Dodgers starter pack. Oh, you mean because the Italians are already gone? No home is complete without an inflatable Michelle. Surely Stalkers, they're flying machines. I'm just creating the mold and casting machine really interesting. Yeah, it was this, and there's something about some kind of work. You can just kind of like staring at a fish tank, isn't it? You're just watching a guy banging a hammer against a piece of metal for hours, and there's something fascinating about it. Just seeing how it works and the machine's turning. And trying not to think about all the carcinogens you've been inhaling for the past hour.
Oh, no.
3D printers so they can print multiple items. I don't know. I didn't raise that with them. I'm not a 3D printer man myself. I suspect speed is a huge problem with it. I think speed is a big problem for manufacturers. Because, I mean, although these were kind of individually packed and loaded, it was then like a minute, not an hour.
Yeah.
B-17. Sunderland is the big one. Catalina, 32-meter wingspan. Yeah, that's quite a bit bigger, isn't it? But if you look at some of their Cruel Seas frigates, they're a foot long. They're not frigates. They're smaller than that, but they're very big for boats. When the normal model is 5 inches long, 4 inches long, they've got some that are a foot long. But anyway, that's enough, I think, of us talking about Warlord. It was really nice to meet. If we saw you there and have not mentioned your name, apologies. It was really nice for us to have people come over and say, hello, are you these guys? I enjoyed that. A lot made me feel very special for a moment and reminded me that although work is crap, I am actually valued somewhere in the world, at least a little bit. Right then. So let's have a look at Mr. Ax Anax's beautiful things.
Beautiful things.
So here we go. Number 1.
Wow.
Look at that. Hexes and everything.
I like the hexes. So this is GHQ. It's all GHQ.
So that's 6 mil.
Yeah, 6 mil stuff. There's some Leopard 2A6 Canadians in the back. So they have the metal wrap stuff, like the caging around them.
Right.
Cool. They were for the desert for cooling down, I guess, plus rocket protection. Some ADATs with the little radars on them. Some U.S. World War II, or not World War II, Vietnam infantry. And then some
hexagons.
Yeah. That's the infantry.
It's all on hexagons. Shut
all up. Hexagons. And then, some CMP trucks with some towed guns just over to the right there.
Nice.
Very nice.
What is this for? Why the hexes?
I was going to do like some sort of imagination game. Like, when you make up like a fake nation.
They're the best game.
But using all Canadian stuff because I wanted all Canadian. Except for you can't find Canadian troops in 6mm apparently.
Canadians, eh? Right.
Hey.
Boom. More hexes.
Oh yeah. It's a whole lot of Battletech right there.
Whoa! All the little mechs. All the little mechs.
So tell us about these mechs.
These are called the Battle Cats, and they have orange stripes on green paint. If you understand why they're called Battle Cats, then you know He-Man.
He-Man.
Are they masters of the universe?
That's right. They're going to rule over the whole inner sphere.
That is sweet.
Oh, and is that? Hang on. If I zoom right in, have you gone full He-Man on this? I can't quite tell.
Or is there a little dude riding the cat?
Oh no, I thought that this was Battle Cat, but it's not. Boom.
No, I'm afraid not. But even better though, that's my miniature. That's the little me down there.
That's a little.
Little you.
Yeah. I went through. Angel Barracks was doing I think it was a GoFundMe. They wanted to make character miniatures in 6mm. So I pitched in like $50, and I got to design one little guy based on me. So that's my little man.
That is cool.
It's your little man, hey, up
That's
there,
my little
Taylor.
man.
Look at all of them. You've got a rifleman. You've got a Jenner. You've got a bushwhacker. I'm guessing. I'm just making names up now.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah.
Axeman, possibly at the back. I really, really still want to play Alpha Strike.
Oh yeah.
Is that a thing you've got to play?
Though, John?
Yeah, I do.
You really, really do.
Maybe, yeah.
If I buy it and you've said that, then we have to do it.
You should
Yeah.
definitely play Alpha Strike. Just get the free rules first. Give it a whirl.
Yeah.
You don't have to commit.
Back to learning the rules. So what are we looking at here? We've got some yellow dudes and some spiders.
I was trying to do like a mock-up of what I wanted for a contest. So I was like, we're trying to design a cover for 5 Parsecs Bug Hunt. And we wanted to do like a paint over from Artist Empire. So I'm like, give me a scene that kind of looks like this, but with your own miniatures, because I wasn't going to enter the contest. Mm-hmm. And so I have some Mercs Recon guys in the back, some CCC. And the little guys in the front are Halloween spiders off some like Halloween lights. So they had like a big empty space in the back. So I stuck a little airsoft BB. And then
that is genius.
They got a bright green bum hole.
Yep.
Yes.
A bunged up bright green hole. Bum. Love it. Nice. Who did you say the soldiers were? Where they're from?
Sorry?
Where did you say the soldiers are from?
Oh, from Mercs.
Mercs. Okay.
Yeah, they had like a big Kickstarter and then died, I think, basically.
Oh.
Look at these.
Just reminds me of the Infinity, is it? Infinity miniatures.
Yeah, they're very close. Even scale-wise, they match up really nicely together.
Mm.
They're all plastic, though, the Mercs.
Oh my. Look at these gnolls.
Are these gnolls?
All my gnolls, yeah.
I
played a lot of... Our main game was Rangers of Shadow Deep, so I wanted these for our games. We formed our player group around Rangers of Shadow Deep.
Okay.
And usually I host some miniatures.
I don't know Rangers of Shadow Deep. Tell us about it.
It's based on Frostgrave, which I think you don't like.
Right.
Another McCullough.
Rangers of Shadow Deep is all solo and co-op, so you get together with your friends and you play through the stories that he's written.
Sweet. That's pretty cool.
So it's like a D&D light sort of thing.
D&D light.
Yeah.
Focusing on all the good stuff, just swinging dice.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh. The first official Necron warrior.
Is it? Is that the legit original Necron?
That is a legit 4 2nd edition. The rules came in a White Dwarf. And did they give one of these free on a... I think they gave out one of these free on a White Dwarf. But yeah, that's an original Necron warrior right there. Oosh.
Pretty sweet. This one I did with a color shift. The Turbo Dork one. Yeah, so Bubblegum Crisis. So unfortunately you can't see it because it's in a picture, but you swing it around, it goes from like gold to pink.
Right. Yeah, it's not the best way to do color shifting paint. All right, nice. So that's a 30-year-old metal miniature.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Maybe not 30. 25?
Yeah, let's go 25. 95 maybe. Not 95 years. 1995 would have been the year.
So
this is another little Rangers of Shadow Deep kind of setup. I just some of the enemies versus some of the hero characters. I want to have kind of like an over battle kind of 3/4 look, scene.
Mm-hmm.
What have we got here?
So these some of these miniatures look a bit on the older style. So what have we got going from? Do you know where they're all from?
Basically, some of them are Halloween, like plastic toys. Some are old Ral Partha. Some are new Reaper bones, like the skeletons and the zombies.
Mm-hmm.
The chap in the back with the hat is he's a black scorpion miniature, so he's resin.
Right. He's styling it with that hat, though, man.
Yeah,
he's a fun guy to paint.
Come on, check this.
Mad Hatter with a blunderbuss,
and he's got a little clown horn.
That's right. And then some Reaper metal, the lady with the sword.
And
most of them are old Ral Partha. I think he's Metal Magic. I got him from Mega Minis. Do you remember Mega Minis? They would sell like old casts for super cheap.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
From the States. And so he was part of that collection. So I think I bought him for like 50 cents or something.
Nice.
Mega Minis.
Oh,
check that out.
I did these for my daughter because I wanted to play Kill Team with somebody. So I said, pick out 4 colors, and I'll paint your orcs with those 4 colors.
I was going to say why pink and yellow. I now know why.
Pink, yellow, and turquoise.
Pink, lilac, yellow, and turquoise, yeah.
They are pretty much my favorite orcs now, though. I love them.
Right. I mean, they're good colors for a Blood Bowl team. More on that later.
Good colors, full stop. That looks awesome. Orcs are mental. Got some classics in there. Look, Second Ed Grot sneaking in. Some Space Crusade Grots.
Oh, nice.
I like those old grots.
So,
which one? I like both.
The ones with like the wooden
the rifle as a chin strap.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. So you've obviously your approach to collecting miniatures is different to many of us. You didn't buy a box of Orc Boys and paint them. These have come from all over the place. Is that because you pick things up as you go and then try and put them into a force, or?
I kind of had an eBay addiction for a while. I would just buy whatever I could at cheap, especially 7th edition 40k. Just killed the life of 40k, I think. So I was able to grab so many sweet old minis I had always wanted for super cheap. So I just kind of ended up like with weird random collections.
Right. A lot of people left that hobby at 7th edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was quite a drastic change.
Well, they've not learned anything because they're pretty much right back there now, aren't they?
Yes.
Now then.
All stays
now then. Oh!
Sovietsky.
What is that behemoth?
T-35, I think it is. They only made them. They made them like interwar to early war, and they were abysmal failures.
But
still, it looks bloody scary.
It is awesome looking. It's almost the size of Abrams. And
they are big.
So is it T? It might be T-35. Someone in the comments is going to know. Tell us. But it's one of these. So T-34, some horrendous pre-war design. Is this a T-60 or a T-70?
Yeah, T-72 over to the right.
No, the one in the front? Or is that a T-26? The dinky one.
The little guy? Yeah, that's the flamer one. The KHT-26, I think.
Right.
It shoots flames.
T-26. Yeah, flamethrower.
It's a flame tank.
A little flame tank. Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the suspension now. It's a T-26 hull. The Soviets have a lot of interest in light tanks, and they really, really didn't work out for them, and they kept building them anyway.
They're so cute, though.
This thing, and certainly people like computer games and war games. They're often in the interwar period. There was many nations developed these multi-turreted behemoths. And universally, they ditch them all. But in war games, they always seem to do disproportionately well. And fundamentally, the problem is that these little turrets can't be properly crewed or fire controlled.
Yeah. I can imagine it's interesting to run around trying to man everything and push the buttons and pull the knobs.
Well, if you think that pretty much since 1936 to today, there are 3 men in a turret because that's the number of guys you need in a turret. That hasn't changed unless you get an auto loader, which replaces one of the guys. There's a commander, a gunner, and a loader. How are you going to get 3 guys in that or that? And where's the vision ports and where's the ammunition go? And what's the value of a medium weapon? So all that weight that these things are going to add to the tank and the people and the ammunition and so forth that goes with it, you could just have a bigger gun in the main turret. And if you've got to penetrate the best possible armor of your opponent, then you just want...
Yeah, but it's not as fun as having 3 completely separate turrets with different armament.
Pew, 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 pew.
Do you know those old like top-down shooters? Like the airplane games, like 1943 or something? So you'd be like flying your little plane back and forth and you're just shooting bullets everywhere.
Exactly.
Back and forth. That's what I imagine.
As
This guy's
the
just blazing down the road.
Yeah, man, that is epic. I like that. What's that for? Are you going to be using that for those menagerie of tanks, sir?
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing. Maybe something. But probably nothing.
Trenchworks do that in 28 mil. I don't know which one that was. Yeah. It's T-35. That's a 76 mil gun, and it weighs 45 tons. Nice. The Shahs are good examples. Yeah. 5 or 6 machine guns. All these kind of different variations. They're all tried, and they were all binned. Right? They were all fundamentally, this is what tanks look like because this is the design that works. Push the buttons, pull the knobs. Very British Civil War. You can play with those big. You certainly can. Now, if you're fighting guys on the street, I'm sure having loads of different weapons that go pew 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 is probably better. Or certainly has a use. Because it's not about fire control and coordination. More 6-sided dice than the other guy. Yeah, and that's fundamentally the problem, is that these tanks in other games, they get multiple shots, don't they? Yeah. Bolt action N3 with as many MGs. The M3 Stewart. Yeah, you can put millions of them on, can't you?
I don't know. I did have a Stewart, but somebody bought it from me.
I didn't buy it from it. I took it back from you, mate. That's what that was. Right. That's enough of that. Caught up with the comments as well. So, how did you go about painting these? This looks like a painting technique that even I could follow. What's the method here, David?
I went onto YouTube and I looked up Pete the Wargamer and I looked at his video.
Yeah. Pete the Wargamer. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I didn't exactly copy it, but I mostly copied it. I used it's like a very standard Vallejo color for Soviets. I used that color instead of the one he used, but otherwise it's pretty much all the same. Just dry brush with a little bit of pin washing.
Right. Well, it's certainly effective. It's done the job. I like it. And then this is a different Battletech.
These are from a horribly failed Kickstarter called Polyversal, which isn't technically dead yet, but I don't think the guy's ever going to fulfill it. However, he did fulfill all the miniatures first. So his plan was to create a game where you could log into an app and create these little tiles, hex tiles, that are all the stats of your units. And then you lay them all down on the table. You got like lots of chits and things. It's really crunchy, and you just fight it out. But he created everything except for the actual game itself. You can get the PDF, but you can't get the tokens or the physical tiles or the physical rule book. So it's like a super crunchy game that's really unwieldy in digital format.
Right.
But the minis are great.
Models are cool.
Yeah, so you got your money's worth in the end.
And are these sort of 10 mil size?
Those guys are all 6mm as well, but those ones are a little chunkier than the GHQ.
Okay. Was that last? Oh, still got more. Ooh.
And then these are also from Mercs. My dad bought me the entire Kickstarter of Mercs Recon from his coworker. He gave it to me for my 40th birthday, which is pretty awesome.
Wow.
Right.
And he bought it for $50. It was crazy. But these guys, the original owner had like half painted. So like one of them was like almost done. It was like close to a complete model. So I figured, since the guy was so nice to sell him, I might as well finish off his color scheme.
Sweet.
What?
Yes,
this guy, is he doing some kind of kung fu?
Yeah. He's busting down those doors.
I get you. Right. Okay.
That's pretty cool. They're pretty sweet.
One, mate. So, do you play with all of these models? Then, are you fundamentally a painter?
All the Rangers of Shadow Deep ones have been played with quite a bit. The BattleTech ones, like the ones that were green with the orange stripes, I played with a couple of times. It's been hard though because of lockdown, just not being able to play games.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Back into things. All right, we do have more pictures to share in a moment. They're not David's. They're actually brushing quills. We're going to have a look at those. So I'll just great dad. Oh, because he bought you that stuff.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Troops look like BattleTech elementals. Is that some power armor or something in BattleTech?
Yeah, if you looked at them up close, you wouldn't think they look like elementals necessarily, but. Right. You know, from that distance, everything 6mm kind of looks the same infantry.
Yeah. The Bolt Action game the other day was super exciting. Great job. The one with the clown car. That was brilliant. Right.
I heard that was the best clown car ever.
If you haven't watched our latest Bolt Action video yet, it looks like Johnny's going to be crushed after the first couple of turns, but he actually manages to pull back and it goes right to the wire that game.
That's the best kind of game.
I think so, and it's really hard to do. Somebody in the comments actually suggested a better list for John, and I was thinking,
I did see that, and
that definitely is a better list. But that's not how we roll. We don't bring good lists. We bring lists that
was that not Mr. Thomas? Was that not Mr. Thomas Chase that did that comment? In the, I think it might have been. If you're here. Bring it out, Mr. Chase. I could be completely wrong.
That was it. You might be right, actually.
I feel like it was.
Yeah, if there was ever a battle when you probably should have had a flamethrower, the one where there was a bunker on the table.
That would have been the one. Yeah,
that's only the one. We keep saying that bloody flamethrowers in this game is ridiculous. You only ever have a flamethrower if you've got something to fire it at, like a bunker. We bring a bunker.
And we had a bunker.
Don't have a flamethrower. Right? Yeah. But you are. So the other part of that was sort of us making first tentative steps into John's got the D-Day British and Canadian sector. We are going to, but over a very, very long period of time, we're going to try all the scenarios in that book. But in a lot of cases, they're really set in particular instances, particular parts of particular actions.
Very much so.
I don't just want to use the same German models in each game, so some of them we're going to need to get some troops to use as Luftwaffe Field Division or Kriegsmarine troops and things like that. And I don't want to just use the same models with a different name, but that's a lot of painting to do. So we are starting to look at how we can do that because we're conscious that Bolt Action can get very samey, and the way you make it not samey is with scenarios. We're playing more of the attack defense scenarios from the second set in the book, and we've not done all of them yet. But John has got a British army, and that's it, and that's all it's ever going to be.
Yeah.
How many commandos you got now, John? You've been working on a commando second army for a while now.
For a long time. So I had the 10 original rifles that appeared in the Woolly Hats and Canoes and Big Balls video some time ago.
Yeah, those 10 were done about a year ago. Yeah.
Was it about a year? It might be 2. It might be like that.
maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a half section with SMGs that are nearly done, plus a Piat and a second LMG. So, I mean, it's not a massive force, but
you're still only halfway to a 500-point army.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I've got to be we have to be realistic. It's not like, I could buy you 60 French partisans tomorrow, but you wouldn't paint them anytime soon, would you?
No.
So it's going to be the Germans that are going to have to be the different armies, I think. Get them done. Might even see if Callum will paint one of them for me while he's here and half asleep. Yeah.
Haven't I got some bread coats to paint for Johnny B first?
Well, that is also true. Yeah, we're going to talk about that another time. We'll talk about Napoleonics because Callum has painted them. I just need to finish the basing. I think it's a shame to showcase them without the basing done. But I asked you not to do the basing, so it matched with my movement trays, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm gonna finish that. Which ones are easy to kit bash? Oh, it's not that. It's not. It's not having the models. It's not having the time to paint them or liking the flamethrower rules really more than anything else in bolt action. So Brush and Quill has also got some pictures this week. Shall we have a look? Yeah, so share the screen then, Michael. That would do the thing. Share.
Meanwhile, look at this 17-pounder shell. Isn't it amazing?
Hey, oosh, look at that.
It's the dwarf team.
He's been attacked by a lizard. Snake.
He is. He's got an eel there. So it's for his eel pie.
Is he wrestling his eel, mate?
Yeah.
Family friendly show.
I don't know. The look on his face, he's giving it a serious talking to, I tell you.
Yeah. That's a conga eel, man.
Yeah, these are the 3D printed ones that I'm doing for my stepdad. They're called the Stern Boys, a joke which unfortunately only works in the UK. But yeah, no, they're all sort of pirate stroke sea based.
Crazy ginger dwarves, yeah.
I asked how do you want them painted, and the only direction I got was they must have ginger beards. That was it.
Mate, dwarves, ginger beards.
So it's quite nice.
So what color? Because I have a real problem with paint and hair colors, to be honest. So what color have you painted them?
So it's oranges. It is. If I can find it,
looks a little bit more natural than some of my blood claws.
It is. Oh, here we go. I've got them two here. So it's a base coat of scale 75's Vulcan orange. Then 50/50 with game color orange fire, and then orange fire over the top. And then some of them I put a little bit of yellow in. Some of them I give it like a light wash or brown or whatever, just to give them slight tonal variation. But yeah.
So this is a deep sea diving pirate Blood Bowl team, right?
Yeah. So you've got three deep sea divers, a load that are very piratical. The star player I'm painting up at the minute here, he's sort of modelled on like Aquaman.
Show him again, Callum, on the big screen.
He's a bit sort of Aquaman kind of. The king from the Little Mermaid kind of dude.
Right. We got a few more pictures of this team then. Is that right? Oh no, that's going the wrong way. There we go. So these, mate, you can't throw a bomb. That's cheating.
It's Blood Bowl. Everybody's cheating.
That's true. Oh, I love the spotted handkerchief though.
Yeah.
Are those spots sculpted on the model?
No. I put them on.
Very nice. This
I'm going to try to get the wet Acme on the bomb, so he's got an Acme.
Yeah.
And the guy beside him with the helmet there.
Yeah.
No, with the on the far right.
He looks like one of them fire drakes or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I love
with a beard armor that Warhammer likes.
Kraken beard armor though.
Yeah, it's the dwarf symbol, their little token that you use to score, can keep track of their points as it. So that's their little team symbol, that sort of Kraken thing.
Oh, right. Let me see.
Sweet.
Go to the next picture. So when I was seeing those from the other guy.
The dude, bro.
Yeah.
Hey.
It absolutely, yeah. He was great fun to paint up. I just tried to figure out how to get like a really dark silver. So just to get the metal nice and dark.
Right. And have you got some homebrew rules for all these ranged weapons in Blood Bowl?
They have rules.
Yeah, they have rules.
The guy with the cannon is called Barrick Farblast.
Is he a special character?
You can actually get. Yeah, he's an actual dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's a bit blurry, unfortunately. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, the two at the front there, they're the two dwarf runners, which
right.
the dwarves and running don't go together.
Dwarf runner, yeah. I think that's the last one. Well, it's really, really characterful, that, and I think Mike Wolnoff, you're not wrong, mate. It does look like a mind flare symbol now you come to mention it. Right, yeah, and that's for a lot of people. That's the appeal of Blood Bowl, right? The characterful nature of the team.
It's like mini RPG in it, in the fact that as your players, they gain experience and then different skills and stuff. So you get invested in a player because they've got X number.
That is pretty cool. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. I appreciate that. It takes a while to get there.
I think he's talking about the miniature, John, not you. Look at Aquaman with a ginger beard.
I'm sure you look just like Aquaman too, Johnny.
I do.
Yep. Aquaman with rickets. So mean to him. Dwarf runners. They can hide a Castatrail. First dwarf to get to it is called the runner. There we go. Tom Kenny says, "Hey again, Ax Anax."
Hey, Tom.
Well, I mean, what have we got to say next week? Last 10 minutes of the show. You see, next week I have done no painting tonight.
No, I've done nothing. I've been looking at all the sexy models.
We got Martin from Seventh Son said he's going to come and join us next week, which is really good. The guy's not been very well for a while, and he's running a job and a YouTube channel and another podcast, which is on quite late on the night before us. So I really appreciate that. We have filmed the next part of the SPQR campaign, hoping to finish. Damn it, man. Hoping to finish the edits this week and get that up for Friday.
Lovely.
100% on that. Not quite 100%. Clueless Mike has got the Orc box, the 40k Orc box. He's done or doing a review of that between working and feeding his infant child. So you'll see that as soon as it is done. I think that's the main thing. I showed you at the beginning. John and I are working on Kill Team. Should start seeing Kill Team content over the next 3 to 6 weeks. We've recorded another game of tanks. We need to get some Flames of War done next, I think, wasn't it? We were talking, John.
We've got all the things to do. We've got Flames. I need to get painting so we can do the SPQR next game, because obviously we're always chasing ourselves.
Always painting to do after each game, because we're trying to buy. The thing is, rather than just let's just get another 4 Romans and another 4 Romans, we're trying to bring new things to each battle. So I just put an order in today for the War Dogs for the Celts, for example.
Sweet.
But whether we'll have the Chariot first or the War Dogs, don't know. But I've got the next few more interesting
potential bits.
Infant child equals bloodsucker. From experience. Spreading my Combat Patrol Orc box. Yeah, I mean, our review's not out yet, but first glance looks pretty good value, to be honest. If you like your orcs, Mortal Gods. Well, John, how many models you got painted for Mortal Gods?
I've got 9 painted.
9.
I've got another 6, 7, 8 to do.
That's pretty close,
I started off with, like every project, some good momentum.
Yeah.
And I got the initial ones done, and then
they're bored of it now.
They're there. Yeah. They're there. I'm gonna work on
I am hoping to play James at some point over the next few weeks in Mortal Gods, because it's been a while, and from what I remember of it, it was quite a fun game. I need to get some cake stands to use as columns to stick some gold sprayed miniatures on the top of statues to use as objectives, and I keep forgetting to get myself on Amazon and buy some cheap cake stands.
You say buy some cheap cake stands. I don't know if they are cheap, but yeah, we'll have a look.
All right, I'm going to do nice painting of the battle. It says Dwayne. I asked Mr. Plastic Crack Podcast to come on the show about 2 months ago. You did reply to me yesterday, though, or the day before. So I'm going to be in touch, mate, and you're going to check the calendar after the show. I'm going to send you an email with some dates, and we would love to have you on. He's proper fizzy about the battle tank. 5 parsecs from home. So you mentioned that earlier, Ax Anax. What's 5 parsecs from home?
Sounds like
it's another adventure solo game.
Mm-hmm.
But you like random tables? Do you like rolling on random tables? If you love rolling on random tables, you'd love 5 Parsecs from Home. It's basically, it's like an old role-playing game where you move your miniatures through, and then like you have to roll on these charts to see what happens. Except for it's not a bigger scale, so it's a sci-fi skirmish game. And you roll up a crew completely at random. I mean, you could choose your own if you really wanted to, but the spirit is just roll up at random, see what you get. You get some random equipment, and then you go out and fight random guys for random purposes, and you just keep doing it over and over.
And is it a board game with like a procedurally generated map?
No, it's a skirmish game. So you make your own map based on what scenario you roll up. So you could play it on your kill team terrain for sure. It fits 2x2 to 3x3 nicely. I usually play it on the kill team mats.
I feel somebody has mentioned this, and I looked it up, and it was about a 250-page rulebook with a lot of tables in it, and I thought, no, I'm never going to learn this game.
Most of the book is random tables and like procedural content, so you don't actually get through a lot of it. It's just the very first section.
Right.
And it's a simple game overall. I can play it. I played it one afternoon. I was reading the rules because I was going to have a nice little nap. And then I saw those random charts. I'm like, I got to play this. So I just hopped up out of the couch and I just set up a little battle on my coffee table, and it was good to go.
Yeah. I did. I looked at a video because it's solo. That's it. Yeah. And it was, definitely. And the other thing that we were talked about, so there was the Airfix thing, which I am interested in doing. So the Blood Red Skies, but with the Airfix models, because I think that will work better. Well, this is going back to the Warlord Open Day now, because the other game that I've been looking at for a while and thinking about doing is the Judge Dredd game, because I reckon there's 2 judges in the starter set, and I reckon even John can paint 2 models. What do you reckon, John?
There's a chance, yes. But if you want to progress any further,
you like Judge Dredd, right? You know,
I do. Yeah, I'm okay with Judge Dredd. Yeah.
What about Strontium Dog? Do you like
Strontium Dog? Is that the same but different?
Apparently, you can play them together, even though they're 2 different games. They have the same rules, and you can play them together.
Right.
Aren't they
and
from the
they're both
same
2000 AD, are they?
Yeah, they're both 2000 AD.
Well, we've got plenty of counters to be able to do that.
Yeah. Also, just acquired Judge Dredd. Yeah, but it's another game that they've got a fairly cheap starter set too. It looks like it's quite a small map with cardboard buildings and so forth. So I was quite interested in having a look at the starter set of that. But again, that's like a million miles away. We'll probably do a product review over the next few months, and then we'll play it 2 years from now because of the scale of the painting queue. Where did you get up to with the hobbying tonight? I got about 1 blob of paint onto this model. John.
Pretty good. I got as far as doing nothing. No, I'll tell a lie. Out of the Commandos and the Wolf Riders, I glued 5 Chaos Warriors onto wooden bases.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is that a lie?
No, I snipped off. You've got to consider, all I did was snip off the little plastic snippy base bit, the slotter bit.
Yeah.
I snipped those off and put them onto wooden bases.
I bought Oathmark. That's another thing that I did, which brings us a step closer to a fantasy game. Brush and Core, where did you get up to tonight, buddy?
I managed to get the base color on the Silver Down, which is the sort of the final stretch for these guys, which considering like this guy's covered in chains, there's a little bit of fiddly work.
Oh, he's proper going for it, that one.
So that'd be full team with reserves, everything.
Yeah, full team. The next 4 I've got are the supporter, coach, mage.
Oh, right.
So gubbin.
Yeah, all the sideline as well. Yeah, look.
Wizard.
Yeah,
wizard, man, you.
You get a Blood Bowl wizard.
Yeah, they hurl fireballs onto the match.
Oh, and he can cheat.
Yeah.
Cheating's the aim of the game. But anyways, let's get David back up on the big screen because I want to see where he's got with them there.
Because he's like a pro painter, like those rookies. Oh, look at
these.
Getting there. I'm batch fitting 5 of them, so I'm just going through.
What was that? Was that a Warhammer?
Yeah, 2C. Warhammer 2C. It's the better clan version.
Oh, I like it.
This guy's called a baboon.
A baboon!
Somebody
I've
did
never
ask you
seen that.
earlier if you airbrush your camo. I think we just got our answer.
He doesn't look like he's wearing a mask or poisoning himself. So I'm going to go with no. David, while you are on the screen, remind the lovely people at home where they can find you, what it is that you do, that sort of thing.
You can find me on YouTube under Ax Anax. I am on sometimes. I'll live stream sporadically. So if you want to know when I'm on, hit the notification button and maybe YouTube might tell you or not. It really depends how YouTube feels that day.
Very nice.
Go and check him out.
There we go. So look out for our video on Friday, guys. We're going to be back next week, hopefully with Martin. That is the plan, Seventh Son. We've got some amazing people lined up for you in the future, obviously, but it's too exciting to tell you at this stage. We have been invited back to Warlord to interview Big John Stallard and hopefully talk to some of the production people on camera and film a game there in what will be UK's half term. And as Tony Halton says, Kaiser, you really need to try Alpha Strike. I need John to be willing to paint some models before I play anything. It is fundamentally the issue. I'm perfectly up for playing it.
I'd be well fizzled for that, but it just means everything else then
there's no more SPQR. There's no everything stops while you paint 3 of the 4 models in the lance. that's going to be what happens. What about you, Callum? Are you up for some Alpha Strike?
Yeah, I'll do some mechs.
Yeah, that means you can play the game. I mean, are you interested in it?
That's the simplified version of BattleTech, isn't it? Yeah. I'm up for a bit of simplified BattleTech.
Yeah,
I like the word simplified.
Simplified or stupefied. Right, that's it from us this week, guys. We'll see you in the future, and thank you for watching. Take care, everyone.
Bye.